Hello, everyone. Welcome to the
Yo.
first episode of the Youth and Junior Breakdown. I'm your host, Adam Wilkin. I've got Wilkin as my name on here. Sorry. I've got Henrique with me. Welcome to the show.
Evening. Like Mike just said, it's a good moment. Youth and junior time. Let's go.
It is. It is. I'm very much looking forward to this. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's a good moment in Britball to show off some of our young talent that we've got going on
Yeah.
around the country. It's not just us two today, so don't worry about that, guys. We have got some other guests coming in. So let's introduce them in, shall we? We've got
Introduce.
introduce. Are you gonna take? You take the make on my accent, right? Don't you even start, right? First of all, we've got Phil McGovern. Hello there, Phil.
Hi there.
I hope
I'm
I
actually not the one to talk about accents. So, if you want to talk about accents, we got to make fun of mine just as much as I make fun of yours.
I'm glad you're willing to have a joke with all at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always said I've got a colonial accent. That's what I've got. So
yeah, I'd agree with you there, mate, if I'm honest. Next up to the show, we've got Paul Salmon. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Good, mate.
Keeping the accent talk going. I think mine's the most boring accent of all of you. At least yours a bit exotic. Mine's like middle of the road, boring, northern.
Yeah, you sound pretty exotic to me, Paul. Sorry.
So what I will say is to everyone here, thanks for coming and joining. First of all, hopefully we can shed some light on some of our young ballers. So I appreciate you joining me. What I will say as well for everyone watching, if it's your first time watching, if you're not normally here for our normal Monday night show, which isn't very PG, I am going to try and keep it a bit PG today for our younger audience. There's no swear jar going on the screen today. So I will apologise now if one slips out. So there's your warning for everyone. No, but tonight we're glad you. Yeah, thanks, mate. We're getting comments coming in already. That's one thing, guys. If you are new to the show and you haven't seen it before, we can't pull up any comments or any questions that you've got on the screen. So feel free to drop a comment in. Any likes, shares are also much appreciated, so we can help grow the game as well as we can. Enrique, do you want to give us a bit of a background on yourself, where you're coaching and things?
Yeah, of course. So I personally myself coach the under-16s of the Sheffield Giants. I'm the defensive coordinator for the under-16s. Basically, I play for the Sheffield Giants myself, and the opportunity arose for me to get involved in the youth program, and I didn't really hesitate, and it's one of the best things I've done. Absolutely love it. And yeah, so I'm glad to see this is, the game's growing so much that you're seeing a lot of younger generation teams. PG, I'm out. Thanks, Mike. It's just really good to see, especially because I'm not that old, but when I was under 16, there wasn't that many opportunities for under 16 teams. And now there's all of these, chances, and we've got a podcast on it now. So it's just great to see. But yeah, under 16s, DC, that's me. Thought I recognized you. Well, your voice. Yeah, Scunthorpe have had to deal with me a lot.
Paul, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm the youth football lead. Again, sorry for the Sheffield Giants. We're repping the Giants tonight. I'm also the offensive coordinator for the under-19 team. So I got involved 2018 with about 6 lads to set up a youth setup at the Giants. My son was one of them. That was a driving force. He's now graduated. But yeah, we've gone from strength to strength in what we can't believe is only 3 years. But yeah, we've now got teams at 19, 16, 14 and 11, under 11. So it is great. Like Enrique says, and I can't say this as much, the kids are the future. The kids love the sport. You see that every weekend at games and at training. And grabbing them at this age, the sport grabbing them at that age, we've got them for life. That's what's so important.
That's completely my point of view. I think that if you get them young now and they're hooked on the sport and they love it, it's for me, coaching now is just seeing the kids grow up to love a sport that I love is unbelievable. So I honestly, that's why I coach. I'm not going to lie. Phil, a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, I actually got into coaching when I was in the States. I actually used to be a high school teacher, and I actually started out my coaching career in American high school as wide receiver coaches. I also did some D-line coaching there. I came to the UK a while ago. I've been here 15 years now, but my son said he wanted to play, and I showed up to the Cheetahs with him one day, and I said, "Oh, I've done a bit of coaching," and suddenly I was the offensive coordinator. So I have been part of the Hertfordshire Cheetahs organization for 4 years. I just recently left because I've actually left Hertfordshire. I was the head coach up until the middle of this year of the under-16s. I also did the offensive coordination there. I also did help out the under-19s, most recently as a tight end coach, but I've also helped with wide receivers and general offensive scheming there. So it sounds like Paul and I are on the offensive side of the board. And, Enrique, you said you are the DC, so we can all, Paul and I will outnumber you and agree that offense beats defense, and especially any day.
I mean, I always say, I've always told my lads this: if we don't concede, we can't lose. All right, so I'm gonna say defense all the way.
I like that answer, to be honest, but I'll give you a little bit of background on myself for people that don't know who I am. I'm Coach Wilgan. I coach up at Gated Centres. I'm head coach of the under-16s, the under-19s side. I also head coach at Sunderland University. Help run our under-12s flag. I do pretty much anything that's not adult related. I am probably involved in some way, shape, or form. So that's my background, anyways. But I think we should get into the fun side of things now. We have had a load of comments coming in. We've had some from Matthew Taylor there, 2 brilliant coaches for the Sheffield Giants. So you're getting some love. And then you've got DC, more like MC. I'm guessing they're talking about you there, Enrique.
Oh God, yeah. You know what? I absolutely. We'll get into it, but I absolutely love our game days because there's just switches that flip between all of us. Like in the middle of the game, we're screaming at each other, and we get our little 15-minute breaks and we're all singing and dancing together on the sideline. We love it, absolutely love it. But yeah,
we've got some laughing comments coming in here, and it's because I missed this comment. You see, this one is from the head coach of the Sheffield under-16s. Enrique might be the defensive coordinator, but some of his play calling is borderline offensive.
I think it's the naming. So, how can I say this without giving away my damn playbook?
Okay, I'll tell you, he names them after designer brands and things. So there you go. I've been on the sideline for 2 games. I've figured out his defensive play calls already. So everyone else should have, right?
I mean, we can go on about this. Is there anything that's really complicated about defense? It's like, go tackle the dude. That's all you need to say. That's my play call.
Oh, come on. Absolutely not.
Oh,
you know what, right?
Do we know how to press buttons? How do you press buttons on a defensive coordinator? You actually just say his calls don't matter. That's how you...
Oh, wow. The thing is, he knows exactly because he's exactly got me sweating already. So
you know what it is? Isn't it normally, though, the offensive coordinator normally calls something wrong? The defensive coordinator never calls it right. That's how it normally works, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take credit for that. Yeah, I mean, I know that I have personally lost a few games based on the calls I made. So I will take full credit on that. I mean, I always say from coaching, if the team does well, the players succeeded. If the team does poorly, the coaches failed. I mean, that's the way it works. So the players never mess up. It's only the coaches that mess up.
I agree with that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
That's the way I've always approached coaching. So.
Oh, I'm definitely on board with that. I've definitely lost games because of me. So the way that the show is going to work today, for everyone watching, is we're going to talk about under 19s. We're going to go through some of the teams. We'll talk about which divisions and things teams are in, and then what we'll do look at Enrique. I gave him admin access once, and he pulls up comments about himself. Look at this.
That's my one card for the day, and I'm done.
So, we'll talk
My
about
calls are all American cities, so that's how I went about it. So
I just call them by what they are, mate. Like that's how straightforward we are.
Twins right, jet sweep. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then we go do it. And to be fair, I'm not scared to shout it out on the pitch. Doesn't bother us. Just go execute.
Yep.
No, but today what we're going to do, we're going to talk about under-19s first. We'll go through the divisions, what teams are playing, what they're called, whereabouts they're at, things like that. Then we'll talk about some of the games that they've played so far. And then later on, we're going to do the same, moving on to the under-16s game. So, Enrique, do you want to share your screen and put up the under-19s, please?
Absolutely. Let's. I'm still learning. Let's have a look.
Ryan, you should be in this conversation, mate. You should be on the show now, coming and talking.
What does he do?
He's the Leicester Falcons under-16s head coach.
Get him on.
Get in. So what I'm going to do while we're all here is I'm actually going to make your screen a little bit bigger and take us off so you don't have to all look serious while we're reading really tiny lettering, okay? So I'll pull that off. There we go. We can still hear everything you're saying.
Beautiful.
So this division here, what we've got is Division 1 Midlands, okay? This is under-19s Division 1 Midlands. So under-19 Division 1, the only difference between Division 1 and Division 2 at under-19 age group is the amount of players. So that it's not on skill based or anything like that. It's about how many players you have in your team. So if you've got enough players, you'll play in Division 1. If you haven't got enough players, you'll play in Division 2. Division 1 plays 9 aside and Division 2 plays 7 aside. Is that right?
Yeah, on a smaller pitch.
On a smaller pitch, yeah. So you'll play on the same size as an under-16s pitch at 7, and you'll play on a full pitch at 9 aside.
Coach Salmon, could I ask you about that? Because I'm under-19s goes a little bit over my head. The Giants, are we Div 1 or
Division 1?
We're Division 1, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, full-size pitch, 9 aside, as Coach says, with special teams. Div 2 don't have special teams. That's the main difference, apart from the pitch size.
So here's a question for you guys, okay? So when we come to rank all these teams soon and give them their ranking, should all the Division 1 teams be above all the Division 2 teams?
I think it's a separate ranking.
It's different ranking.
Compare the two.
So what we'll do then, so we'll have to have, for the day I have not prepared well enough then, I made one ranking. But we'll make a ranking for the Division 1 teams, and then we'll cancel that out, and then we'll make a one for the Division 2 teams. And then next week, I will make a separate slideshow for the both of them. So if anyone's watching, you're going to kick off. Sorry, right? That's where we're at right now. So we'll start off here. Division 1 Midlands. You've got Tamworth Phoenix there. Birmingham Lions and Nottingham Caesars. Does anyone know much about these teams?
I know a little bit about the Caesars because of my connection to their senior team.
Yeah.
But I would more say on reputation, all three of these programs have been quality programs for a long, long time. I mean, these are three names that when you think about Britball, you're going to think, especially Midlands, these are really the teams that really represent the power. And I'm happy to see they're all in under 19s. The Div 1. One of the things I think we should talk about is the split between what teams were traditionally Div 1 that went to Div 2 and so forth this year. I mean, it happened more in the south than it did up north. But based on the stats, it looks like these teams are relatively evenly matched. I mean, with Tamworth looking stronger, it's the away, the points given up is really telling there. But I really don't know much individually about any of these teams.
Well, I think knowing what we know about these teams over the years, they're all really, really strong teams. Let's be honest. Tamworth this year more so than others, where they're coming along and they've really stepped up their game. Tamworth.
I mean, if you think about 2019, the last time we had a real season, who were the youth players of 2019 are all now the junior players of 2021.
Yeah.
And Tamworth Phoenix were undefeated in under 19s. They were the number 1 ranked team going into the national championship.
Yeah.
So they must have strong players. They had strong players at under 16. Those strong players are now in under 19s, combined with the strong coaching that they have. It would be surprising to see anybody but Tamworth at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe as well, guys, that just before the season, the 4th team in the division, because that's how it tends to work with the under-19s this year. It's 4 divisions. Black Country Vipers, they moved down to 7-a-side. I'm assuming down to numbers. I believe a few players probably want to play 9-a-side and might have gone to Tamworth. That's the closest team to Black Country. But as you say, Tamworth are a great setup from top to bottom, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are.
And that shows with the results.
And I have to admit, they do have the best kit. Their helmets are just fire.
Oh, let's not start that debate tonight.
I think the we played against them. We played against them in 2019 and beat them in 2019. But
one thing I'll be honest, just on that, I'll give you one thing I've always said. I think that the best looking fixture is Tamworth versus the Giants, the orange and the light blue. The only one that I'll say is close is Scunthorpe and South Links now, because I saw that one.
In adult football, Scunthorpe South Links is the nicest, I think. Yeah. And our orange is better than the Tamworth orange at youth, so you can start off there. Right? That's all I'm saying.
Your orange is pretty bright. So okay.
Yeah, ours is real bright. We need new kit.
So next division, let's have a look. So now we started Midlands. We'll go south.
Yeah, we'll go south. So keep them in the Division 1, hopefully.
Yeah, so Div 1 South. There we go.
You've got Hertfordshire Cheetahs, Wembley Stallions, Thames Valley Tigers in the South East Legion. Anyone got anything to say about these teams?
Yeah.
I thought you might, Phil.
This one is beyond the scores and everything like that. The Cheetahs in this one, I think they have around 55 registered players on that team.
Wow.
And when you go into another 19s 9-a-side and you have that sort of depth, it's just ridiculous. Of course, they're going to win against these three teams. Going into the season, actually, in the 2019, TVT that was their first year at under 19s, and they struggled a bit. But this year, the story was that they got a whole lot of the Pride players playing at TVT.
Yeah.
And when the Cheetahs played them a couple weeks ago, it was not very close. I don't remember exactly what the score is. It was like 2-1 kind of score.
Yeah.
And it was, so I don't know whether the Pride players actually did show up or not. I don't know if we've got any confirmation on that. But yeah, the Cheetahs, like Coach Will, who is the head coach, has said. I mean, you might want to post that comment there, Enrique, but we'll just put.
Yeah, I'll just put on. Haven't conceded in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and so they've been really dominant the last 2 plays. And I think it goes back to what I said about Tamworth. The under 16 players at 2019 are now all juniors. So just like Tamworth was 12-0 at youth, the Cheetahs in 2019 were 12-0, and now all of those great players, combined with the great coaches in both squads, are dominating in junior football.
Yeah, I think it's all expected, though, isn't it? Really, if your youth team's solid and it's coming through over the next few years, your junior team's going to expand. And when we move on to youth later on, we're going to be talking about teams that are doing well this year, what we expect to happen in their juniors and in years to come.
Yep.
But teams like Wembley, they've always got a good solid team. The youth team as well is looking decent. Thames Valley, aren't Thames Valley like a new-ish junior team?
Yeah, they were. As I said, they were new in 2019.
And what they did is their combination of the Swindon Storm and somebody else, and the Berkshire Renegades.
Yeah.
The Berkshire Renegades and Swindon Storm combined their two under-16s teams to come up with the TVT, the Thames Valley Tigers. And they, as I said, they started in 2019 as their first year, and they were sort of the whipping post because they were just getting a hold of the whipping boys of the under-19 game. But this year, there's a lot of, as I said, there's a lot expected from them, and they just haven't necessarily brought it forward.
I mean, as long as they're working to promote junior football as a whole, like that's two teams working together. That's massive for the game.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's definitely it's a real key to be able to do that, especially for places where the squads aren't so big. It's really cool to see two teams who don't necessarily have the full size for a full under-19 team join with somebody else, and that's really what the way we're going to grow it, because there's a big jump between 5-a-side and 9-a-side.
Yeah,
massive.
Southeast Legion as well. Aren't they another team that's a few teams combined to make a junior team?
Yeah, they were the East Kent Mavericks, I believe.
Yeah. And
somebody else joined way down south. They're way down south. I didn't realize they were south as they are.
Is it Hellingley, maybe? Hellingley Hound Dogs?
Yeah, that's it. Because they're in it's a couple teams from around the south, South Kent area have joined together for the Southeast Legion.
Again, that's only going to benefit teams like this team in years to come. If all the youth teams are separate and then they're coming together to make a junior team, like that's going to be huge for those players.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple teams that are playing. I kind of don't like the 7-man Div 2 setup. I would rather see more teams combine and play more 9-man. I can think of some of the 7. And when we get to the Div 2 set south, you'll see a whole bunch of teams there that if they combined, they would be a real big powerhouse. And they're all close to each other.
Tell me about it, mate. You're preaching there. Trust us. Absolutely preaching. So we're going to the next division, Division 1 North. So,
Coach, that's all you, Coach?
This is all me, yes. So, obviously, Sheffield Giants are in this one. This is our first season at under-19. We had one season in 2019 at 7-a-side, Div 2. But this is our first step up to under-19. And I think what you find, with a lot of teams, and this is where the ranking is going to be difficult. We played in 2019, but of our squad this year, in our first game day, 25 players in the squad, only 5 had ever played football before. Yeah, even though we had an under-19 team 2 years ago. And I think a lot of teams with the break in 2020, there's going to be a lot of teams in that situation that the 18-year-olds, normally they're experienced, they've been playing for 3 years, and because of missing a year, you're finding that teams, even with big squads, are very inexperienced. And I think that will, when we looked at some of the results earlier, you were talking about Thames Valley Tigers, that year out will have affected them massively. Yeah. If they'd have had 3 continuous years, experience for the players that are there, but also retention of players. I think that's been a big thing at under-19 and under-16 this year. Speaking to other coaches, retention of existing players as well as recruitment of new players. That's been tough for a lot of teams this year.
I think we can see that, especially in this division, if I'm honest, because Manchester Titans, for example, they were an absolute powerhouse in 2019, and they're sitting at the bottom of that division at the moment. But I've got no doubt about it. In the next few years, Manchester Titans are going to be flying with their 3 youth teams they've got. And it's just going to feed it again. I think this 1 year off has hurt teams, it's nearly 2 years off, really. It's hurt teams massively. You've got Yorkshire Assassins there as well. They normally have a big youth setup. We'll talk about them later on again. In Chorley, I seen a photo of Chorley the other day where I think it was you guys that they played, or it might have been Manchester, someone in that division where they played and they only took, I think it was like 11 guys or something.
I can't remember that day, to be quite honest, Coach.
I thought
it
you might have
been
forgot
us.
that.
I seem to think it was this weekend, but I can't really remember this weekend.
Well, the quarterback Harry there, he's commented. Charlie had 12 players and put 62 points.
Massive respect to the guys. Both games, they outfought us and outcoached us. Massive respect to Charlie in both games, but in all games, and I think we've found this against. I mean, we beat Yorkshire Academy and we beat Manchester.
Yeah,
it's as I think Coach said earlier when it's big plays. Sometimes it only takes a couple of plays to get a couple of scores, and that can be the difference in the games. They're not, runaway wins. All right, 62. All right, yes, that was. But you find that at this level, and we'll talk about it more under 16. It tends to be big players making big plays.
One of the things I was going to say about the difference, the under 19s Div 1, the 9 players play on a full-size pitch. So there's a lot of open space. I mean, it's similar in under 16s. There's a lot of open space. Yeah. One tackle missed is usually a touchdown.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they play on a full-size pitch.
Yeah. In Division 1.
They've got less players than adult, and they play on the same field.
Yeah.
We have those boys working.
Special teams is fun. I remember when we started off, guys, and we spoke to a special teams coach for the Giants and said, "What would you do 9-a-side special teams?" He says, "I don't have a clue. It's hard enough special teams with 11 to have the same space and 2 less players." And I think that goes for defense as well. As you said, you've got less space. Less players to cover the same space. But I think the thing that I found with under 19 football this season is the will from every team to grow the game. There's not been any bad will, I don't believe, between the four teams in our division. I'm sure that's the same across the country. I think that's the good thing about this level is people just want to put lads and lasses on the field playing football.
Absolutely.
I think realistically, as long as people are out there now and playing football still, like there's some teams there that COVID could have absolutely ruined. Let's be honest. Like some people found other sports to go play, and I'm just so happy that we've still managed to put a league together, and teams are still managing to play in complete fixtures. So
absolutely.
I think this season really goes to show you what recruiting really means to the game. I mean, the teams that were able to recruit, like I said, the Cheetahs had 50 plus in the under 19s. It's like, they recruited incredibly. I mean, we had a big team in under 16s, and it just got bigger in under 19s. We still have a big team in under 16s this year. But it's like the teams that can recruit well, I mean, numbers will win. I mean, Chorley has been the exception to that rule. I mean, they've got some phenomenal talent on that team for 12 and 13 if you're putting up 40, 50 points. So but numbers will usually win. And it's just a testament to how well the teams that have recruited have survived COVID.
I think Chorley are a bit of an exception in the fact that they've got players like Harry Coyne, who is a pride quarterback, and he's really athletic. He's one of them guys that can change a game. We had him in our power rankings, but when we were ranking quarterbacks a few months ago, and the guy is an absolute baller. So again, on a field where one missed tackle can be the difference between a score and a safety, essentially, it can be huge. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those games where, I think one day we'll get to the point where we've got enough guys to be able to go and play 11s again, because that's what it was when I was young.
When we get to the under 16s, I think I've got a theory about under 16s. I think we need to move out of 5s, so it's not a realistic enough game, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Do you want to pull up the next division?
Absolutely. Let's have a look. So we started with Division 1 Midlands, so let's go Southeast. We got there we go.
Here's a big one. Kent Exiles, London Blitz, and South London Renegades.
Yeah, this is the Warriors, I think, dropped out of this one. Is that at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year.
That's surprising. The Warriors dropped. Wait, so
The
Go on.
Warriors have traditionally done poorly at under 16 and 19 recruiting wise.
Yeah.
They have always been, under 16s. I remember they'd show up with 6 or 7, and their under 19s were like the same thing. Like they have like 14 or 15 players. They do really well, obviously at seniors, but that is not really transferred into the younger age groups.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same with the Blitz. The Blitz youth never used to have loads of numbers, but then they did it junior, as far as I remember. Like juniors, like I remember when I was a kid, I'm talking about going down and playing in a finals against the Blitz, and we took 21 guys going down there ready to play a wing, going hoping to win the game. And I looked on the other sideline, there was 80 London Blitz guys that looked about 10 times older than us, built absolutely different, and we got our backside kicked. So
yeah, I mean the fact that the Blitz are 2 and 3 is really incredible to me. I mean they've been traditionally the team to beat in under 19s. It was them and EKP. I remember my experience the last few years. It's been them and EKP, and they, as I mentioned before we even started, the under 16s for the last few years they haven't been as quality, and I think that's now showing up in the under 19s. The players just aren't there, and maybe it is just the change in coaches or a change in environment or whatever. But I mean, we really the team in this division is really the pride is the Exiles. They are. Yeah, they've been a class act for a long time. And again, it goes back to show in 2019, they were national championship in 2019. They have always been very good in juniors, and so it's good to see them. I bet they are taking a special amount of pride to be on top of the Blitz for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
and not just that, their adult team as well. Like this is going all the way through the Kent Exiles, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, the Exiles is a quality organization.
Yeah, like they have definitely done something to be proud of there, because it is benefiting every one of their teams.
It is. I just kind of worry with all these teams kind of close. I think the Blitz had this for a while going on. Is all the players, if you were a baller, you went and played for the Blitz. We lost some players in the Cheetahs my early days. The Cheetahs, they thought they were better than the Cheetahs, and they went and played for the Blitz. And so I'm worried that since those teams are so close to one another, how many people are leaving the Blitz and going to play for Kent? So
I mean, I think that will happen. I think it'll happen in London in general, if I'm honest, in that area. I think it's one of those things where it's success driven as well. So I think at the minute, Kent are showing that they've got a lot of talent and a lot of guys that are willing to put the effort in coaching. And I think if the likes of Blitz or anything start thinking, actually, they're doing something different, maybe we will, that they might start putting the time back in, and it'll flip again. But for right now, Kent are the team to beat, if I'm honest.
I think going back to recruiting, I think one of the big things in recruiting, the success is always more word of mouth than it is anything else.
Yeah.
And if the coach, if a player is playing there and having, especially the under 16s, if you're having a good time and you're feeling, good about the team, and you feel like the coaches are helping you out, you'll tell your friends, and people will try the sport, and that's how you get big numbers.
Yeah.
And so I think there had to be, I don't know about what change there was with the Blitz, but the Exiles are now the organization to beat now in the Southeast.
Yeah. I think, Phil, that's a great point about recruitment for 19s and 16s. Word of mouth does seem to be the way. And I think as a community, that's sort of got to change. The number of parents that have approached me and said, I didn't even know there was a team in Sheffield. And I think that's probably the case all over the country. I think as a community, we need to find a way, and this is a great first step of promoting the under 19 and under 16 community and teams. So the people that want to play can find the teams more easily.
I'll tell you what. Here's one for her. So I'm sure we've got plenty of guys watching that play the sport at these age groups that we're talking about now, and a lot of guys that are coaching in these age groups that we're talking about now. Here's a little challenge for you guys. Go and share the last thing your team posted on social media. Maybe tag a few guys in it that aren't at the team. Maybe bring a friend down to training that's never been down before. Let's, as a community, grow the sport together. Because, let's be honest, if someone's never tried the sport before, they don't know if they like it or not.
Yeah.
So have a chat with them, share stuff on social media that your team's posting out, and let's actually grow the sport from the bottom up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember reading comments on one player's sharing. Someone wrote in and said, wait, you play American football? They play American football in this country? I don't believe it. And it's like, that's a little shocking. And a couple of the comments that people have been making, a lot of it is about under 16, under 19s don't get enough media. And under 16, under 19s, that's the future of the game. It really, really is. I mean, it's not going to be 35-year-olds playing a senior team, a Div 2 senior team. I mean, good for them, but that's not the future of football in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, Jade was one of his quotes. So it's going to be, it is getting the team, and it's going to come down to word of mouth more than anything else. Because as much as the Cheetahs post on Facebook, oh, we're having a rookie day for under 16s, like someone said, 16-year-olds don't use Facebook.
Yeah.
It's, it's their mom that says, oh, little Jimmy, you like football.
I'll tell you what they do use though.
Almost out of date, and it's going to be all. I mean, can you imagine some of the coaches doing a TikTok and you're doing some sort of dance promoting their game?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something that kids do use. And that's Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
They like to use Instagram. So here's one thing: if you've got highlights, tag us in them on Instagram, and we will share every single highlight from youth or junior on our Instagram page. We'll share it in our story. Okay. So there's a little added bonus. Tag your team in it, tag us in it, and we will share every single one of them. And then you can show all your friends, get them down. We will do as many things as possible to help grow the game.
Yeah. And Emma just brought up a good point. Another place to get recruits, I think, is down the gym.
Yeah.
So when a lot of our players work out. If you are working out, you get down there and you talk up to someone you see that could be a potential addition, even if they're older, even if they're a 20-year-old that's working out. Tell them about American football. Let them know. Get people out there.
Yeah, I mean it's one of them things. Like Emma's one of our parents at Gateshead. Her son plays for us. In fact, two of our sons play for us, and the other children are going to end up playing as well. They all come down. They're all in face paints. We shared something on Facebook the other day of one of our kids playing the drums at our youth game. It's one of those things where it's not just for the age groups that you're looking at now. Like this kids are there that you're going to be. So if you attract a 16-year-old down, and even if he's got a 7 or 8, 6-year-old brother, get them involved doing something, whether that's making noise makers for games. Because I guarantee you, in a few years' time,
he will play for
they're going to play for your team as well.
Literally on the under 16s, there's about 3 or 4 of the lads with their families come over, they bring the dog, younger brother, and literally. Just having them there, we actually have a couple of them warm up with the under 16 lads. So we make them do a couple laps, and we're like, if this is this is the team you want to play for, this is how we warm up, join in, stuff like that, and it's absolutely a great thing to see because 100% when they hit the age, obviously we have under 11s and under 14s, so there's levels. They'll jump into it straight away because they've been around the team for so long.
Yeah. I think just piggybacking on that, Enrique, you might not know this, but one of the under 16 players' younger brother came to an under 19 game. didn't see him. He was with his parents. He then turned up at his brother's under-16 tournament, saw one of the under-19 players, went up to him, said, "Can I have a picture with you? You're my hero."
Oh, yeah.
A 9-year-old lad to a 19-year-old, "You're my hero." Took a photo. He's now joined the flag team, and like you say, get them involved, and they love it. And obviously, the under-19 player won't hear the last of it, but it just shows that, like you said, get them involved, and they will look up to them lads and want to do it themselves. I think it's a great point.
Do you know what the best thing about it as well, right? Is the older guys in the team find that sense of responsibility there as well.
Yeah.
So they take the younger guys under the wing, and it's one of those things where it's just great for the older guys to be like, "Oh, this young guy's came along and he's seen us, and we're having a bit of a talk, and I'm going to teach him how to get in his stance so he can do the same stance like I do, and then I'm going to teach him how to catch properly, and then at half time I'm going to throw the ball with him," and it's unbelievable. Then you see the guys turning up in your game day merch that he's all wear, and it's like the part of the team. It's honestly, if you're coaching youth and junior, or even if you're playing youth and junior, bring other people along to watch you as well. Like, bring family, friends, like, do whatever you can. Like, invite people down to come down. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
I've just had a message off Gav from NFL Academy. He says all he wants to know is where the big guys are. That's what he wants to know. If you're big, send us a message.
I don't know about you. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I've seen a big guy walking around town, and I'm like, how many of you actually approached a big guy and said, "You know, we play American football"? You know, it's like I've always contemplated having like some sort of card made saying, "Look, this is when we train. Come on down." You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Emma Park that's commented there. That's what happened with her son, because he is massive.
Yeah.
But he's a big guy, and we got him to come down. But it was just lucky that one of our guys seen him in the gym, to be honest. But
we've got some of that. Some of our senior players have seen guys in the gym saying, "Look, come on down."
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to? I think the next one is division. Which division one we're going to? Oh, we moved.
We're finished. We're finished the Division 1, so Div 2.
Division 2. It jumped on my screen there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Div 2 Northwest is where we're at now.
Yeah. This really annoys me. By the way, that's called Northwest, because we've got a team in it literally called Northeast, and I know I'm in the Northeast, but still, Division 2 Northwest. You've got Chester Romans at the top there. 4-0. You've got us there, where it says on there 2-0, but we're actually, I think, 4-0 as well with a walkover. I know we're undefeated.
Well, I trust what I see here, so I'm gonna.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll log in and you can update it. We're 4-0 as well. I mean, one was a walkover against Burnley. You've got Lincolnshire Bombers 3-1. You've got Burnley Tornadoes 3-1. Northeast Academy 4-1.
You're reading that wrong.
Am I? Where am I?
Yes.
Oh no! Whoa, there we go. Sorry, my bad.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
looking completely the wrong place here.
Oh my God!
Chester Romans 4-0. I'm looking at played instead of thinking. My bad. Chester Romans 4-0. We are 4-0 as well. Lincolnshire Bombers
2-1.
2-1. It's too small for my eyes, man.
I'll go.
I've got a really bad head, as people seen yesterday.
So we can see that the Bombers are 2-1. The Burnley Tornadoes, I actually like that name, Tornadoes. It's different. 1-2. The Northeast Academy 1-3, and then we've got the Wigan Bandits 0-4. So there's more teams doing Div 2 than there is Div 1.
Yeah.
So is it maybe just easier for these under-19s to do the smaller size without the special teams? Because I'm seeing that there's more of them doing it. If you go
well, it all comes down to numbers. Like we talked about, it's nothing to do with skill, because there are some quality organizations there, but it comes down to how many players you can recruit and how many players show up to play. And I know a couple teams were planning to do Div 1 that had to drop down to Div 2.
Yeah.
I was planning to do Division 1. and then I didn't get offered. So it was one of those.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
All right.
The other thing that also makes a big difference in the under-19s game is whether you've got enough big guys to play line, more offensive line specifically.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that annoys me because even in 7v7, we put out a 5-man line, a quarterback, and a running back, and just ran it down people's throats so far. Like we haven't aired the ball out at all, really.
Why doesn't that surprise me, Coach?
We've seen the size of your players, mate. What is in the water in Gateshead? I need to know.
I'm telling you, man, it's kebabs, isn't it? Like
what was good to see though with that Div 2 division in the north was teams like Wigan Bandits, who are relatively new at I think both 16 and 19, and I think the fact that they've got a 19 team is a testament to the the commitment of the coaches, that they've grown through a 16, kept the players, produced an under 19. Yeah, they're 0-4, but that's not important.
They might be 0-4, but they've still got players. Like we played against them, and they've got some ballers still in that team.
Yeah.
Like they've got some really good guys in that team, and I just think it's experience at the moment.
It is
that it is, and I mean they're a young team as well. So
that'll be the case.
I think
forgive me, guys. Who's the Northeast Academy? Is that another one of the combination clubs, or
no? Well, yes. This is a nightmare to speak about. So Northeast Academy was a team that I used to be head coach of, and at the time it was a mix between Northumberland Lightning, Newcastle Vikings, and DC Presidents. So it was their youth and junior system, but now they are called Northeast Academy Giants, and they are the Northumberland Vikings youth and junior side, but not because they're a separate team. But they're still. When we get onto youth, you'll see that it's in the youth section on League Republic. It's still called Northumberland Vikings, but the Northeast Academy Giants.
Okay, so it's not like TVT, with a couple of youth teams joined up.
Nah, they are their own team, and I'm going to say this now. Should be Northeast Academy Ravens, like it was originally called for specific reasons, but they changed that. Yeah, never mind.
Ravens is a good name. Yeah.
Damn good name. Honestly.
Yeah, sorry, my friends in Sheffield, but Giants is one of the worst names ever. And
Whoa!
I'm a Patriot fan, so obviously the New York Giants are the antipathy of the
I will not accept any slander of that name right now. That is my limit.
We could be falling out very soon.
But as this division is, I mean, you've got it's a bit of a nightmare for us because we actually don't play Chester this season. And I don't know why, but we don't play Chester.
Don't they play tournaments like they do at under 16s?
Yeah, it is. But the only team in that tournament that in that division that we don't play is Chester, and both of us are undefeated.
I don't see how that's. I mean, with 6 teams, it should be. Do you do 4 tournaments, or are you doing 6 tournaments?
It's 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, someone commented earlier about the number of games that they play at under 16, under 19s, and it just doesn't seem viable to really. It's 4 or 5 months of training just to play a handful of games. I think there needs to be more games at under 19.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, kid, you're gonna love this. I just got a message from one of the parents of the under 16s saying we should have done this the other way around. We should have done the 16s because he's trying to get his son to go to bed, but they don't want to go until we talk about them. So we should have done it the other way around. Put the younger lads on first.
August.
The older ones have got to go to work, mate. You know what I mean? He can still school holidays.
I thought school holidays were on.
Yeah, he's allowed to stay up tonight. I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's move on to the next.
Next one. Let's go. So Division 2 South. So Solent. So we've got the Solent Seahawks, who are 0-4. We've got the Essex Spartans.
No, they're not. You're reading that wrong.
4-0.
4-0. Sorry, Christ. Yeah. My bad. Thank you. 4-0. Sorry, Solent. My bad. Don't attack me on Twitter. We've got the Essex Spartans who are 3-1. The Somerset
Wyverns.
I didn't want to get that wrong. Wyverns. I thought it might have been Welsh. So I didn't want to.
Practically is, mate, to be honest.
So the Somerset Wyverns that are 2-2. The Rushmore Knights who are 2-4. And then the Poole Dolphins who are 1-5. The one thing I will mention is the different teams playing different numbers of games can sometimes make it very hard to properly judge everything, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You got Rushmore and Poole, playing 6 games, and then all the others only playing 4. It's like it's hard to judge who's what and who's where. Obviously, I understand why they do it, and it's you're getting called out there, lad.
James, I'm going to say it, James, we'll sort it out at the end of the season. If we all stay undefeated, I'll play you, man.
Enrique, I think it has to do a lot with how much data has been entered into.
It does.
I don't think like we have seen before a couple. I mean, even the Senators were listed as 2-0, and they're 4-0. So I don't think. I think you can take that as a fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, this division, I know a lot about all of these teams. Because these are we played them in the 2019's under 16 team. Both Somerset and Poole are brand new to under 19s, and they are really playing hard. Both of those teams are led by some quality individuals. I have a lot of respect for the guy who's running the Poole Dolphins. It's really a one-man show down there, and he's working his butt off to build a program down in Poole. And it's really been only a couple of years now, and he has some quality ballers coming up, and now they're now playing in the under 19s, which is really great to see. Someone commented earlier about how doesn't see how 7-a-side is supposed to be a step up to under 19 to 9-a-side. And for some of these programs, I know they have their sight set on under 19s. Poole is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Rushmore, they used to be Farnham. For some reason, they changed their name to from Farnham into Rushmore. Their quality program, they've suffered from recruiting numbers. Somerset, as I said, they are brand new to football this year. Their under 16s team is brand new, and their under 19s team is brand new. So the fact that they are 2-2 is a real testament to what's going down over there in Somerset.
Yeah.
That is an amazing thing that's going on there at Somerset.
They've got a quality head coach as well, though.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, isn't one of their coaches in the GB program?
Yeah, Damien.
Yeah. Essex Spartans, they've been a quality organizations for a while. I think they just suffered from recruiting. But the surprise I had when I saw the lineup is that Solent is only 7 men.
Yeah.
Solent has been a stronghold of Southern or Southwest football for such a long time, especially at under 19s. They've really done really well at under 19s. And I was really shocked to see what happened to them to not have the players to play under 19s. It's not surprising to see that they're in first because they have excellent coaches from top to bottom. I mean, obviously, they're all in the BAFA organization, a lot of them. And I think everybody knows the people down at Solent. It's not surprising to see this. I would Poole on pure strength of heart is like second in this league. But Solent is as such a powerhouse. They've got such great coaches and such good players that it's not surprising to see them at the top.
There, we've had a comment come in there. Seahawks under 19 head coach. Yeah, purely numbers killed us. We graduated 22 players from 2019 to 20, and only carried 2 over experienced under 19s players.
That is rough.
That's rough.
That is a hard one to see. Like I feel bad because I've been stressing. Obviously, this is under 16s, but I'm losing.
This is 19s.
Oh no, I meant So
for you.
The example I was gonna give is under 16s, but I'm graduating 5 of my boys up, and I've been stressing about that. Imagine carrying over only 2. Like, I'm guessing he means game experienced players. That's a hell of a rebuild to be doing.
Yeah.
Hell of a rebuild.
They were a young team when we played them in 2019. They had a lot of younger players, and they all would be 18, 19, 17, 18 now, and so they'd be at the young end of under 19s. And so, but I was a little shocked. But to see that they went from 22 down to 2, we always lose a couple. I mean, you've got it will always happen. You'll have ballers at under 16 that love the game. They think they're going to play forever. They get the sleeves, they get everything, and then just disappear when they turn 17 because either a girl gets involved or they get a job and they can't commit to training, and they prioritize something differently.
I think with Solent as well, they had a lot of players that have went to places like Pride and NFL Academy and things as well, and maybe they've just not returned after going there.
Well, as I mentioned, I think a lot down in the south, there are a lot of teams that are really close to each other. I mean, Poole is not that far from Solent, and it's not that far again to Somerset. It's really not. I would kind of almost would have liked to see some of those teams combined to under 19s. To do a 9-man team like the TVT did, only for 1 year. But knowing what I know about Poole, how they do want to build their own program, it's really that it's great to see some of them as a stepping stone. But I hope the Solent can turn it around, because when we get to under 16s, we'll see they're dominating again in under 16s. So they will be back, I'm sure.
Well, talking about combining teams, I'd like to see ourselves at Gateshead and Northeast Academy Giants combined to make an under 19s 9-a-side team, because we're literally 15 minutes down the road from each other, and I am sick of messaging asking about it.
Get it out there. Shout it out.
I've said it 100 times.
No, I'm not saying Somerset should join. I'm saying Poole and Solent should join together.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting hate now.
I know.
I love it.
Oh, no.
So we'll move into Division 2 Midlands. We've got Northants Knights, Ipswich Cardinals, Black Country Vipers, and Leicester Falcons. This division for me is crazy.
I was about to say, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Black Country Vipers is what? Is that going to be near Birmingham?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're a very good setup as well.
Yeah.
But you've got Birmingham, Ipswich, Leicester, and I'm not 100% where Northants is.
It's in Northampton.
Northampton. I had a chat with the head coach of the under-19s for Northants when I was at the Caesars Northants game, the senior game. I had a chat with him. They're a new squad. They're brand new. And so to see them at the top of the leaderboard there, that says a lot about Northants.
Yeah.
Northants is sort of... Go ahead, sorry.
Northants this year, they're new across the board, and they have some absolute ballers across both age groups as well. Yeah.
And they've got quality coaches too. They're really a program that has just sprung up all of a sudden to be really quite good.
Yeah.
And I remember I was watching the Breens. I don't know what when Grant was talking about Northants. It's like they have a really quality organization there, really good players, and it's really great to see a new team spring up and do really, really well.
Yeah. Well, we in 2019, guys, when our first season at under 19, we had a joint scrimmage with Northampton. It was their first season as well. They didn't join the league.
They were associate or whatever.
You could tell that they were setting the foundations right throughout the whole club. They weren't rushing into things. They didn't join the league that year, and I think that's bore fruit now. 2 years later, they put the foundation. 4-0. That's great. Great setup down there.
I'm looking at the scores. They've and they're 2 games away. They've won both, and the only points they've given up are a safety. Oh, that's gotta hurt. I'd like to hear the story of how that safety happened and how they shut everybody out, but gave up the offense, gave up the points. So the defense.
I hope it was one of those players where the time was running out and the QB just ran it out the back of the end zone.
Oh yeah.
I hope it was one of them.
Yeah, but the defense has got to be upset. You know, we would have had a clean sheet, except some of the offense guy fumbled it in the end zone.
So, obviously, at this division, I mean, most teams are relatively new, apart from Black Country Vipers. And obviously, Ipswich has been around, yeah. But the two other teams there, I mean, you got Leicester and Northants, and they're both at complete different ends of that table there. But for me, Northants is massive. I can't believe how well they're doing. Yeah, I really can't.
I mean, the other thing, if you look at the scores aren't. I mean, if we looked at some of the other, the scores are a lot lower here. I mean, so the games must be reasonably close.
Yeah,
and so it could be the Falcons. I mean, a couple of games go different. One ball goes a different way. They could be 2-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next one, Enrique.
Yeah, let's go. So last Division 2 Scotland. They haven't played yet, have they? Or have they just not updated scores?
They have
Scotland just start football.
They've not
played yet.
Yeah,
I think if I remember rightly, their first fixture is either this week or next, if I remember rightly.
I'm happy to have Scottish football back, though. I'm very glad for those boys up there. They deserve it. God.
But just a quick one on these three programs. Pirates are, like we were saying before, if they come out being the Pirates like we're normally used to, they're going to top that division.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Again, the shocker is they're playing 7-man. I mean, I don't know whether they have to because the other teams are in.
Yeah, they do.
I think that's the case, Phil. Yeah, that if they played 9s, they'd have no one to play, would they? Because it's all regionalised this year.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'd expect the Pirates to do really well in that division. Edinburgh, they've come up this year with a second youth team as well.
Yeah,
so they've put out 2 youth teams.
I remember talking to the head coach of the Edinburgh youth team a few years at the BAFTA convention, and they were really high on their program, and they were really developing strong.
Yeah, I think they're going to change things in Scotland.
Someone mentioned before about recruiting in the schools, and Edinburgh is getting in the schools. So
it's one of them for Edinburgh. They've got 2 cracking youth sides, and they're both going to be feeding that one junior program, which is unbelievable.
They're going to be good.
In Highland, if you're new to youth and junior football, Highland have 0 competition for players to go to. And they are all, and I don't think they'll mind us saying this, like farmers. Like they are built differently. Like they lift all the time. These guys throw like cows and bulls around fields and things. like
cow tipping.
Yeah, when you have your like barbecue and it's got Aberdeen Angus and things like that on. These boys have threw that Aberdeen Angus to Aberdeen to then for you to be elated. Like, these guys are huge. Like, they play really hard, smash mouth football, really well organised. They have by far the best award ceremony in any football in the country with the, what's it called? It's got a name. It's like the Wildcat Awards or something other. Something I call it. Someone will say it in the chat, no doubt. But it's unbelievable. Like their setup up there is next level. Yeah. So for me, that division, I can't wait to see what happens with it because I think all 3 teams are going to be very good.
And I think as well with the Highland Wildcats, we were due to play them in 2020. Obviously, didn't happen. They don't play a home game.
The Blitz Award.
But that's a massive. Credit to that organisation because of where they are in Inverness. They don't play at home. They travel to Edinburgh or the Borders for their home games. They have a 3-hour coach ride for a home game. Massive respect to them up there.
Yeah. You got to have respect for anybody that's playing football in Scotland. Basically, I heard a comment that said, the Cheetahs Blitz B home game got rained out because the pitch was waterlogged, and someone commented, it's like, well, Scotland, unless they're drowning, they're playing football. So
that is a fact. Like if the snorkels aren't out, then you're still playing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just have this image of them like wading through like knee deep water to score a touchdown, something like that.
I remember playing a uni game up in Scotland a few years ago, and there was guys jumping off a 10-meter board on the same field as where we were playing football.
My youngest is who he plays. He's going to Edinburgh for his uni in a couple of weeks, and so he's looking forward to joining that team. And I think he's going to have an eye-opening experience.
So was that our last?
That's under 19s done. Yeah.
Right. Pull that down then for now. So we'll take that off the screen. We'll get our lovely faces back on for a second there. And what I'm going to do now then, since we've gone through them all, we'll quickly give the rankings in a second here for under 19s.
Yeah.
So we'll do.
How does that work? Should we all just vote? So I vote the Sheffield Giants number 1. Enrique.
Democracy is not in your favour today, Wilkin. I'm sorry, lad.
It'll work. It's fine. Don't worry. So I'll pull this up on the screen. Here's what we're going to do. So I've got on here, if you can see, I've got a list of 15. Okay, and then here's all of our junior teams at the bottom. Yeah. So what I was going to say is we were going to mix it all in and do one ranking. But
I don't think that would be right, to be honest.
Yeah, you still want to do that, okay? So
do a top like, I don't know, top 8 for each one.
Let's just do top.
I'm worried that you can't really compare teams when you played each other. I would almost think you're going to do like, you know, the god tiers, the lower end tiers, and so forth.
Give me all the Division 1 teams. Read them out, so I can. Cheetahs.
Let Geordie say cheetahs. Cheetahs.
Cheetahs. Blitz.
Wembley. TVT. Wembley is there. You just passed it. Second row, 5th from the left.
I am lost. I know they're in it. On the way there. There we go.
That's TVT. Wembley is second row, 5th from the left side.
Yeah, Wembley.
Yeah.
Southeast Legion is second row, 7th from there you are.
Yeah.
Tamworth, Phoenix, bottom row, right hand side. There.
Yeah. Tamworth, Leeds Assassins.
Yeah. Titans.
Hey, remember they're Yorkshire Assassins. I've got in trouble for mispronouncing
Yorkshire Assassins.
The Buccaneers, top row, 3rd from the right.
Yeah, we've got the Bucks there. Nottingham.
Yeah. Caesars. Yeah.
Nottingham. Birmingham. South London Renegades, are they? No, they're Div 2. Ipswich. Div 2.
The crazy
Chester
schedule.
Div 2. Wigan Div 2. Farnham Div 2. Bombers Div 2. Edinburgh Div 2. Burnley Div 2. Gates of right. That's all of them, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So, how do you want to go about this? Are you wanting to make like a god tier? Is that what you want to do
I'm thinking, god tier.
Yeah. That's how we're going to start them out. Yeah, we haven't. It's hard. It's not like the adult season where there's just a lot. There's not as much of a workload in comparison. So
yeah.
Right. Okay. So let me do it this way then. Right. So if you want to do it that way instead of just ranking, I can do it that way. I have no issue.
Yeah, do that, and then we'll do rankings once we've got a bit more of a workload.
Yeah.
This is great, by the way. How I'm having to, with us not having a separate screen. This is fantastic. No mouse because I'm not in the office. No second screen. Like I'm loving.
Are you doing it on a laptop as well?
Yeah, on a friggin' laptop as well. Like I'm
big off. Elf in the chat.
Yeah. You can put Rip in the chat if you want. I don't really care.
I think everybody's left the chat by now. All the comments have started, so I'm sure people.
I'm telling you, this is what they were waiting for. This is what they were waiting. All the under 19 lads that have been here all night are only here for this part.
Right. Right. So you just want.
We'll do 4 tiers. God tier.
A tier, B tier, C tier, or whatever.
That'll do.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait there. What have I done? I've just closed my screen. Right there. There we go. A, B, and then C. Right. Let's do this.
All right, Wilkin, give us your give us your opinions, and then you'll get the screams from us before you get it from the comments.
Right, okay, so what I'm going to say, right, I'm going to move them all down into 5 first, right, and then we'll move them as I see fit. Why is my... There we go. Right, so I think as of right now, I think you're going to have to keep Kent up there in that God tier for now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I think you keep Tamworth up in there.
Yep.
And I think for this season, I'm going to go with 3 in there for now.
You got to put the Cheetahs in the God tier.
I've got to put Cheetahs in the God tier.
Yeah,
I was thinking the Bucks.
And the Bucks, yeah.
I was going to say the Bucks have got to go in there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think it's those. I think it's the top 4 because they're all undefeated. They're all winning their game handily. They're all a separate class from all the rest of the teams in juniors.
Right, so I'll also go Kent, Phoenix, Bucks, Cheetahs.
And there's no ranking in that category. We're not saying
Yeah.
We're not starting that.
Today.
Not this week. This is our first week.
next week we're going to do that though. We're going to look more in depth, and we're going to do that definitely.
Send us film, guys. You want us to like break you guys down, like Wilkins says every time. Send us film.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be. I think this is where it gets hard, you see.
It is, and this is where I can't say a thing because
I think the Giants are in. Yeah, you know,
we've got to play Manchester and Yorkshire Academy in the next month. So I'm keeping quiet because I don't want any bulletin board material at all.
Honestly, I really think there's a huge division in junior game right now. So
yeah, so do I.
I think it is really the God tier. I think the Giants are kind of in the middle, and then it's kind of everybody else. We're going to be, we'll maybe talk about.
I think Birmingham Lions have got to be.
Wembley might be in the B tier kind of thing. TVT B tier. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm similar. I'm gonna be like Coach Salmon on this one.
Blitz are not A. Blitz are not A. Blitz are bottom of the barrel right now for me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put them in here.
I think they're C tier right now. Caesars are B.
Caesars are B. Are you happy with that?
Southeast Legion definitely down there. TVT B tier.
I was gonna say Manchester. This is gonna sound weird coming out of my mouth, but sweet at the same time. The Titans on the 19s haven't been amazing. I know we beat them.
They've only scored 12 points.
Yeah, they are struggling.
They're updating their thing. And under 19s, it's such an open game. You've got to be able to score more than 12 points in 4 games.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, you could even get away with maybe moving them down to the A list and them down to the B. Them down to the B list, them down to the A.
But how on earth can you actually make that comparison?
I know you're going to kick us, but I just think with how with how many numbers and things they've got as well, like I think that's how we've got to leave it.
I think the Cheetahs go up. I think any of those 4 teams play each other, and I know there's talk of a Exiles Cheetahs scrimmage happening after the season. So.
Right. Well, I'm going to leave it. Are
Samantha,
you guys happy
how many
with
points
that?
have Manchester scored this year? I'm reading comments out. Samantha, how many points did the Titans score? Give us. The Titans fans are all complaining because they're missing a game on that system, aren't they?
No one's updating. You got to get people to update the League Republic.
Yeah, you're not updating them, so.
Okay. We go. This is my favorite comment so far. I'm just put this one out. This is fun. Don't try to attach too much reason and logic to these rankings. You'll be going very long and dark, right? We try our best.
Yeah. The other things to mention about the Cheetahs that maybe in there, the Cheetahs have scored 174 points, which is more than everybody else.
You've got to keep them in there.
You got to keep them in there. I mean,
put the Titans in B. Put the Titans in B. I wouldn't leave them in C. I don't think they're doing as bad as the Blitz are.
I would almost argue you take the Exiles based on that entirely. The Exiles out of it, gone and down to A.
Really?
Because they're 4-0 and only scored 76 points. And they're playing the two teams that they're playing against.
Yeah, down here
are both in C level.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm happy with that. 3, 3, 4, 3. I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyone want to disagree? Or is that,
I was gonna say maybe move the Titans up because we've just got new information. But
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, put the Titans in B. No, because if Samantha's obviously saying what she's saying, and we're missing info. But B. They're not doing as bad. They don't look as bad as the Blitz do. So. Sheffield down, Titans up. Oh, the comments are starting already.
Oh, you're kicking off so badly.
Yeah, I mean, Titans. I mean, the Giants are what, 4-0, or are they
2-2?
2-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
we're 2-2.
We have to argue this one then.
We've lost to Chorley twice.
Chorley is
Manchester and beat Yorkshire.
Right?
Yeah,
sorry.
Chorley's in God tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I'm keeping.
The teams you beat are who?
Manchester and Yorkshire Academy.
So scroll up again there, Adam. So okay.
They beat these two, so yeah.
Yeah.
Beat these two, lost to those, so I'm happy leaving them there.
Yep.
Right, Division 2. We'll keep it here.
Oh, okay, there you go. This one's going to be really, really hard. I think you've got to almost put here. I would put.
Northants.
You got to put. I wouldn't put them in God tier yet. They're A, definitely.
Fine.
I think Chester needs to be in the A, the God tier.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. If I can find them, that.
Solent put A probably.
This is, guys. Remember, I'm just talking because these comments are going nuts. This is the under 19 rankings, guys. We haven't even got to under 16s yet.
Yeah, it's under 19.
Slow it
down. Gateshead obviously C. No, Gateshead. Yeah, I mean B probably. I'm just going down by the order.
B, fucking B. What undefeated?
Language. Language.
Sorry, I did warn you.
Oh my god.
B. Jesus.
Wait, put Gateshead.
Wait. Gateshead is an A team.
No, Gateshead is God tier in my eye. Wait.
No, they're undefeated, right?
You've lost Hussein, but you're still.
No, that's a different age group altogether.
Oh, exactly. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah.
Gateshead is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we go by our pattern, and who've they beaten?
We have beaten Lincolnshire Bombers, Wigan Bandits, Northeast Academy,
and the Burnley Tornadoes.
Yeah, that was a walkover. They didn't play. But yeah.
Okay.
The sphere factor goes over to you.
Wigan falls in that count.
I think looking at that to make that division work, Gateshead have got to go up a tier. Lincolnshire come in at A.
Lincolnshire Bombers and A. Where do you want Gateshead?
Yeah, Gateshead's God tier. Then that's
God tier, yeah.
Oh yes, boys. Right, carry
on. Yeah, I'd put. It's easier to get the people at the bottom.
I want to put AKP up there, and I know they haven't even played yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't put any of the Scottish teams in there. You can't put them in there. You got to put Wigan down the bottom. Poole, I put a B. Rushmore B, Somerset B, Essex maybe A, because they actually have played well. Spartan, second one.
Yeah.
Ipswich.
I think
B?
you got to give every single team in that division an extra bump just in the distance they need to travel.
That is a very good point.
Yeah, that's good.
Ipswich to Birmingham that's a trek.
I think you got to go Ipswich B, maybe.
Ipswich is a B. Black Country Vipers, they've gotten spanked.
Yeah.
So they're C. Falcons, unfortunately, they're down the bottom right now, but they're working on it. And Northants, I think we can't put them God tier yet. I don't think they're there yet.
Northants, where have I got them here? Have I got which one's Northants on this? No, I haven't got Northants in yet. Shit.
No, they're all
there.
Northants
there.
There they are.
I've got Northeast Giants.
The wrong Giants.
But you know them. I don't know them. I did a question about them. I can't say anything about them.
I don't get so much shit.
Are they close to the Bombers? Are they better than the Bandits?
They've got to win, so we can't put them at the bottom.
Yeah.
Their win that they got was a walkover against Burnley.
Right.
They showed up and Burnley didn't. Give them credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about South London Renegades? I've got to put Burnley in there as well. Sorry, because they beat them. But South London Renegades, where we're putting them?
What division are they even in? I think they might be in Div 1. They're Div 1.
Yes, I thought so. I asked this before.
Yeah, they're C tier in Div 1.
So obviously we haven't ranked the Scottish teams here yet.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Everyone else happy with that?
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Anyone kicking off in the comments?
Mate, the comments are insane right now. I'm just not even.
There's already under 16s, stuff going on.
Literally, people are already starting. They're creating their own little under 16s rankings before we've even got there.
Actually. Well,
some people are like trying to organizing. Henry, are you going to be at practice on Thursday, or we can still be trying to figure this out? Yeah, Adam, did you think this was going to be a 4-hour show, or did you have a schedule just for an hour and a half?
I just thought this was going to be like an hour and a half. We'll be laughing, we'll be all finished, and off we go. Yeah. But I think what we can do to speed this up a little is go straight into the
under 16 rankings. Yeah, go on.
Right, let me pull it up on here now because people are gonna kick right off, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. Me being one, probably.
What's the best way of doing this? Should we go division by division and put each team into a tier as we go through?
Yeah. Because that's the only way you can compare them.
Yeah.
Right. So let me just edit this out a little bit, right? So I can try and get
with under 16s team in general. What I've seen from the feedback and is that there are a lot of teams that are rolling over a lot of other teams. So there's the divide between the good teams and under 16s and the bad teams and under 16s is much bigger than the under 19s divide.
I would probably agree with that. Yeah.
I'll say I'll do it in 4 tiers. Well, 5. I'll go God tier A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
We all happy with that?
That's fine.
I think following your point, Phil, I think numbers has a big play in under 16s. Definitely in the Northeast division that Sheffield are in. Sheffield have got a bigger squad. Scunthorpe are next. Lincoln, I don't know how many games they've won, but they've been turning up with 6 or 7 players. They have a massive. We can't talk about every single team, but there's going to be a lot of teams like that this year. Because of numbers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think also the team that's going to honestly the team that's got the most 16-year-olds almost always wins. And it's going to be, the big 16-year-olds. I mean, Gateshead, I think if any team, as much as you want to take credit for the coaching, if you've got 5 6'4" guys on your team, you're going to win most games. I mean, you just hand it to one person and the other one's just going to roll forward.
Yeah,
I mean, it helps you can throw 60-odd yards as well, like that.
I know, of course, but it's not surprising that you guys have done what you've done.
Yeah, no, linking on to Coach Salmon's point, for like the Lincolnshire Bombers have shown up. So in my division, they've shown up with 6, 7 players, and they've actually won some games. They haven't beat us. Sorry, that came out very arrogant. No. For what they've got, they have done very, very well. They have won against teams like Scunthorpe, and they've won against Frickley. They've won games with, we play 5-a-side, and they're winning with 6 players. The Giants we come to a tournament with 18, 20 plus sometimes. So that for me would give them a massive boost just because of that. But absolutely, numbers plays a big part.
Yeah. Enrique, do you want to pull the under-16s divisions up now? And then as you're going through that, I'll create the tier list. So we'll talk through it as well as each division, and I'll slot each team in, and then we'll come to it at the end, and we'll review the tier list at the end.
Yes. So let me share my screen. I've just learned how to use Zoom, and I've got to learn how to use this. Share screen. Okay.
My most embarrassing, experience as a head coach was when we lost to the Buckinghamshire Wolves when they had 4 people on the pitch. So, and
I can't help you there, bro. I'm sorry. I've got nothing to give to you there.
The Cheetahs absorbed a lot of the Bucks players when the Bucks folded, and they're still around, and they still bring that up to me.
Yeah. So we've got under 16 South A. So we've got the Solent Seahawks, who have played 9, won 7.
Yeah,
it says 0 draws, so I'm guessing they've lost 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
Solent university education wasn't wasted, was it, Enrique?
I know.
Yeah. Oh God.
So who else have you got in that division straight away? Just so I can, because I can't see the screen now.
Solent, Somerset, Salisbury, and Poole.
Right. Salisbury Marauders, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So what tier would you put Solent in if they're undefeated? They're 7 and 2. Where would you put them?
Well, they're A tier at best.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the points scored and stuff like that. So
they've been competitive games.
So they've gotten 191 points scored and conceded 106. So they're winning, but they're not running away with it. If you get what I mean in those 7 games.
Yeah. And their 2 losses, I believe, were one was to Somerset.
Yeah.
And the other one, I believe,
Somerset absolutely gave him a wallop in there. What happened there, lads?
Yeah, 30-6. And then the other one was, I mean, there are a lot of games in this thing. There are,
there's a lot of games, yeah.
I can't see their other loss, but there are not a lot of scores. I don't think that whole division is really equally spaced. So they're all, except maybe Poole put down lower, but it's going to be Solent A, the other 2 Bs, and Poole C.
Yeah, I think you could maybe put Somerset as A as well, same as Solent. There's not a lot in that, is there?
No, you're right. Yeah, if you look at it, especially the for and against.
Yeah.
I'm happy with Somerset as an A.
Yeah.
Salisbury, I think, look like they've only won 4 games because they've probably lost to Solent and Somerset. But in a tough position, but they've got to be a tier down, obviously.
Yeah. And then Poole is struggling with numbers some. So they're playing. They're all of those teams are playing with a lot of heart, and they're really good. Well down there. That they've got Southwest is really going to be good for football.
Yeah,
good. That's good. Okay, so we've got now South B. So
Name the
we've got,
teams in there.
so you got
Okay.
Hertfordshire Cheetahs,
Yeah,
the Rushmore Knights,
yeah,
Berkshire Renegades
Berkshire Renegades. Yep.
and Swindon Storm.
yeah.
If you look at the points being put up in that league compared to the South A. So that first off, that's I think the only division that is done as far as they've played all 12 of their games.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And so the Cheetahs are 12-0, and they let me tell you one. I can actually speak from experience in this league. Rushmore and Berkshire are quality teams. Let me tell you, Berkshire gave us a scare at the beginning, and unfortunately, their star player broke something or tore something in the very first in the game against us, and they haven't been the same team since. Rushmore, their only 4 losses are to the Cheetahs.
Yeah.
And so it's really, to me, Cheetahs. I think any team that's 12-0, you have to put in the God tier.
What? Can we do this after our last tournament because we're 9-0?
You'll still get there. Don't worry. You'll still get there.
You got to put Cheetahs God tier. Rushmore, I'd put A tier.
Yeah.
I think if Rushmore played Solent, Rushmore would win.
Yeah.
I think if Rushmore played any of those 2 teams we talked about before, they'd win. Rushmore have got some ballers. They're big. They're tough. They're strong. They're well coached. It's just they couldn't beat the Cheetahs. Renegades B tier, and Swindon's a really, really young team, so they've got to be down the bottom right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And playing some good teams, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think this division, I think top to bottom has the toughest combination of teams. I know I'm going to get a lot of crap from some of the divisions I don't know, but I have a lot of respect for both Rushmore and Berkshire this year.
Yeah.
And Berkshire kind of they've been struggling a bit. It was really great to see them come to tournaments with good numbers, and it really sucks one of their top players got hurt in the very first tournament.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that can happen for these teams sometimes,
Yeah.
isn't it? Especially with numbers, losing like a superstar like that is just horrible.
Yeah.
So the next one we got is the Kent Exiles,
Yeah.
Wembley Stallions,
Yeah.
Hellingly Phoenix,
Hellingly.
and then the London Blitz.
I don't know why the Hellingly went for Phoenix. Hellhounds or something like that. With a name like Hellingly, you got to go.
Well, Hellingly Hellhounds is a team.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Hellingly Hellhounds is a team, but they've merged with the Kent Phoenix to make the Hellingly Phoenix, if I'm right.
The Hellhounds is such a much better name.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find a logo for them, so I've got the Hellingly Hellhounds logo. So
And
that's what they've got.
Just from that, you've got to put Exiles in God tier.
Oh,
They
Exiles.
scored 196 and conceded 12. I mean,
Yeah.
in 6 games, like, come on. They've
Yeah.
scored 196 in 6 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're I'm not surprised. The problem is I don't think they've got the competition that the Cheetahs have, and Gateshead, I'd say obviously you guys probably don't have the competition either.
No.
But I don't think Exiles, if Cheetahs, Exiles, Gateshead, and Sheffield all played each other, it would be
that's a beautiful division
in a national championship, and it's going to be that would be ballers game right there.
That's a beautiful sounding division. That
There's only one now.
let's not do this. let's all not do this tonight.
No, so I put Exiles in God tier.
Yeah.
Wembley in maybe B, and the other 2.
So who was the other one? The Hellhounds?
Hellingly.
We have a D tier, right?
Yeah, we've got D.
Okay, the Blitz are in D, and Hellingly maybe in C.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yep.
All right, I'll move to the next one.
And here we can't say much about anything because nobody's entered any points into.
You know what? I'm skipping this. None of them have put their info in. If
Who
there's
was
anyone, the Lions, Nuneaton Jaguars, Sandwell Steelers, and Tamworth Phoenix. Like, No information. I don't know what they were like, which is surprising to me because I would have thought that. I don't know if Jason Scott's involved in the youth.
No, he's not.
Is he not? Okay.
You know what it is? Because they haven't put their information in, let's just not enter it.
Well, we know some things, isn't it?
I mean, Tamworth have played. I would know that.
I'm moving on. There's no info. I'm not gonna. With all due respect to the 4 teams, I get everyone's busy, but we can't discuss it with no information. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Midlands B. So Northants Knights.
Yeah.
Bedfordshire Black Hawks. Rugby Rhinos. And the Leicester Falcons.
Yeah. This is obviously a tough one to rank because, again, it looks like teams have not put scores in because Northants have obviously beat each of them 3 teams.
Yeah.
We don't know the scores between the other 3 teams.
Well, I mean, we can. Yeah, we know. You know, Blackshot. The Northants beat the Blackhawks only by 12-6.
Yeah.
And you know, and so.
So who else?
14-6.
Who was the 4th team in there? We've got Blackhawks, Knights, Rhinos,
Falcons,
Leicester.
Falcons.
So I mean, for me, I know a little bit about this division. I think Northants would go in. I don't think this is an amazingly powerful division, if I'm completely honest. But I think based on what it is, I would put Northants in maybe an A tier.
Okay.
A, maybe B. Probably B, if I'm honest.
Yeah, because the teams, the scores in the one tournament they had, they only put up 54 points. Well, we've got the other teams in God tier and A tier even putting up 45 points in a game, you know?
Yeah,
We've got some info coming through in the comments from Tamworth, by the looks of it.
Right.
So, from Andy Sweeney, he said, played 1 tournament, Phoenix 3-0, Lions 2-1, and Nuneaton dropped out today. So... use that how you will, Adam.
I mean,
right.
The Tamworth Phoenix only played 3 games so far. How come?
Yeah.
I mean, how come some teams have played 12 and some teams have only played 3?
It's just how things are going. But if Nuneaton's pulled out, then they're getting deleted.
In the politest way, lads.
Yeah, but back to this one, anyways. I would say Knights going to B tier. I think Blackhawks and Rugby going C. Falcons had to pull out of a tournament, which is unfortunate already. But I'm going to put them in the D tier because they're still a very new team, and it's one of those. They've got low numbers. They're a new team, so I would have to put them in the D tier.
Yeah, and any Northants fans watching, I don't think you should take anything against anybody. Across Britball, I think it's universal that everybody has a lot of respect for what's going on in Northants right now.
110%. Like, I just think, to be fair, if they had to beat some of the other teams, like, if they could have been playing someone else, they would have been higher. But because of who they've played, I can't move them higher.
Bedford. Matt Lawrence said Bedford has actually beat the Knights.
Really?
20-6. So the Knights aren't undefeated. So we cannot put them in A. They've got to be in B.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put Knights in B, and I'm gonna put Bedford also in B. Then, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Knights in B, Bedford in B, Rugby in C, and Falcons in D.
Yeah,
that's how I'm gonna run it.
Northants, in 3 years, we come back and have this conversation. Northants is probably going to be way up there. Consider going what's going.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one we've got the under-16 Northwest. So we've got the Titans. We've got Titans are undefeated in this one. We've got the Chorley Buccaneers, who are 4-5. The Chester Romans, who are 3-5-1, and then the Wigan Bandits, who are 1-7-1. So the Chester Romans and the Wigan, did they have a draw? What happened there?
There was a draw, yeah.
It was an actual draw. It wasn't like a weird
draw,
cancellation.
Like 12-12 or something like that. It happened in the first tournament.
Okay.
I think this is another case where we've got one team and 3 weak teams.
Yeah.
Manchester is a good program. I don't know how we cannot put them in God tier since they haven't lost a game. But if we had a God A and God B, I'd put them in the God B. But so they're borderline A God tier
So
team.
would Manchester beat Solent?
Probably, but they wouldn't beat Gateshead, or any of the other 4 teams that we put in God. I don't think.
Would
I think they'd give them a run, but
would they beat Rushmore?
Yeah, Rushmore good. Probably. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We probably put them in God tier.
Yeah, I'm happy to have them there then.
Yeah, they would probably beat the A tier teams, but probably not the rest of the God tier teams.
Yeah.
To be honest, Cheetahs are good, but I don't think we would beat Gateshead.
We need to do this Super League game where we just get all of these teams that are unbeaten, get them in a division, or just get them in one tournament, neutral zone, and let's just play it out. Let's just play. Let the lads play.
Andrew, in the comments you're making, who's the they in that sentence? I don't know who you are, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a good point. Communicate better with us, guys.
Yes, is that Manchester would beat Solent, is what you're saying? So help us out here, guys.
Yeah, I can't even see comments because I'm on the TMA, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Wigan. What about Wigan? Where would you put Wigan Bandits?
I actually saw one of their I was watching a couple of the tournaments and they're not a bad team. They're just this is going to sound weird. They're just small.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of in the process of saying Wigan is a C tier team and Chorley is a B team. That's the way I'm looking at things.
Say 3 of Chorley's losses came from a forfeit. They had to forfeit, apparently.
Oh, well, then that lowers them down.
If you're not showing up to a tournament.
Yeah, they go down to a D, I'm sorry, then if they've had to forfeit. What about Chester? Chester Romans, where are we putting those guys?
Scored 155, conceded 239. Yeah.
I think you got to.
Yeah,
you got to put them. I think realistically, they've conceded against Titans, really, haven't they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So you're gonna, and if we're saying Titans are a god tier team, you got to put them if they're conceding most of them points from Titans in a B tier.
So they conceded 96 points against the Titans in 2 games.
Yeah, so I would say you put them.
No,
in
wait,
B
I've got
tier.
that wrong. Sorry, I've done the maths is atrocious.
Of course you have.
They conceded 50 in 1 game, and then I can't see their second game.
Well, you have to go through. Those are just the recent scores.
It doesn't show everything. Okay, yeah. But no, your point being, a lot of the points they conceded are from Manchester. So
yeah. I think they've got what ranking are we looking at? They can't be higher than a B.
No, I think they are a B.
Yeah.
I think that's where they are. I think you put Bandits at a C then, and if Buccaneers are forfeiting games and things, you have to put them in a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Titans, the Romans have given up 95 points to just the Titans in 2 games.
Yeah, so I'll keep them a B. I'll take that. What's the next one?
So we've got under 16 Northeast. That's all you, Sunshine.
I can't see it, so I'm assuming
that's Gateshead, Vikings, the Steam, and the Assassins. It's your division.
Yeah, so it's not the Vikings, it's the Northeast Giants that I was talking about before.
Okay.
We're comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, that's it.
Okay. Gateshead are in God tier. That's not even a debate. Just do it. I don't wanna hear you explain it. I've watched the tape, mate. Trust me on this. Put them in God tier. Like that's if we're talking about a Super League, that's a team that's in there easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steam are a new team.
Okay.
Dalton Steam are a new team. They've only played 1 tournament so far. Because they came in late, they replaced Burnley Tornadoes that pulled out. They've got a good squad, about 10 or so. I mean, they've got a young lad called Harper that plays for them, who is unreal. If I'm honest, like he's a hell of a player. He could play for any of the other teams in that division.
Yeah.
It's one of those where they've got a young centre as well, who plays well. They're decent. They're a really decent squad, but they're new. For me, I would put them on the same sort of pedestal as the likes of Poole Dolphins, Headingley Rugby, etc. And that's C tier for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I would put Steam right now. I think they could get better though, if I'm honest, as the tournaments go on. That was just their first tournament on Saturday, so I expect them to get better. Northeast Giants, the only team they've lost against is us. They've won all the rest of their games.
By good scores as well, by the looks of it.
With Northeast Giants.
Northeast, it says Northumberland Vikings on there,
Okay.
but it's not. It's Northeast Giants. That's what I was talking about earlier on. To be honest, I'd probably put them in B tier. I don't think they beat the likes of Solent and Wyverns and things. So I'd probably put them B tier. And we all know about Yorkshire Academy. Like they've lost all games so far. They played Darlington on Saturday for the first time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But for now, I'd probably put them in the same C tier as Darlington just for now.
I think that's one of the shocks of
It really is. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange one because the first tournament of the season. So in our division, it's quite different how most other divisions are doing. So we're just playing 3 teams in a tournament.
Yeah.
Because obviously it messed up when Burnley pulled out. So to correct that, we just played 3-team tournaments and we're playing more weekends basically. So we've got more tournaments to go do and to travel to, but we still play the same amount of games essentially.
Yeah.
But Yorkshire, the first game in that tournament was Northeast against Yorkshire, and it was a game that it came down to the last throw of the game by Northeast, and they just won. And pretty much all of the games have been similar. It's been like a score or so in it. Yeah. In fact, with it being that close, I kind of want to move Yorkshire up to B tier with Northeast.
But they're 0-4.
But the teams they've played against.
Don't get me wrong; they're a very good outfit, and like Coach Paul just said, I'm shocked to see them doing like this.
But honestly, they've had really close games with Northeast Giants, and they've had better results with us than what Northeast have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to keep them in B as well, if I'm honest. Fair
play.
They've got. I'm not even gonna lie. They've got one of the best receivers in the division as well playing for them.
They will do.
They've got a really good receiver playing for them as well. They're good. I expect them to bounce back next year. I think COVID's hit them hard, and it's been one of those years for them. But I have to put them in B for now. I'd like to see more from Steam, if I'm honest. Steam could probably move up or could move Yorkshire down on Saturday, but we'll see what happens then.
We'll see where the tournaments take us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're now. Wait, where are we now? Have I done this right? Northeast B.
Yeah, that's you guys.
So that's our division. So it's Sheffield Giants, Scunthorpe Alphas, the Lincolnshire Bombers, and the Thrickley Athletic Saints. So one thing I will, before I say anything, is the score that the Bombers hold, their record does not tell you their story.
No.
As in, genuinely, the 1-2-6, most of that is from maybe 2 games in total, because they have been solid. They have come literally with the lowest numbers each time, and they've given quite a few teams a run.
The thing is with Bombers. So I've came down to 2 your guys' tournaments, as you know. The Bombers are always a solid team. They're always there or thereabouts, but they've always got low numbers. Now they've got 2 players that they've managed to keep from 2 years ago going to play at finals. They've got 1, and a new guy that's pretty decent. So they've got a young American linebacker, stroke running back that's all right, and they've got their nose tackle, who is an absolute baller. He's a baller. So for me, Bombers have got to go. If I'm honest, I don't think they're A. If I'm honest, I think with the numbers alone, I think
I'm a little confused by this. The only team they've beat is Scunthorpe, but they also have 2 forfeits, and we're going
Yeah,
off.
they do.
We can't put teams that are forfeits that high.
That's
That's
a good
what
point.
I'm saying. So I'm saying Bombers have got to go and see.
They've
That's
got to
what
be.
I'm saying.
C. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bombers have got to go and see.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I think-
The whole forfeits thing is a very good point. Yeah,
I think Frickley are a very young squad.
yeah.
And I think
put it at the bottom still. So, I mean,
yeah, I think they've got to go and see as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Phil, what I will say is, although the Bombers forfeited, they actually still played the game. We just didn't score it.
Yeah. It was I refereed that game actually.
Yeah, I remember. Gave me a flag for coming on the pitch too much.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, right? Since you mentioned it, that game that you didn't score ended in a 0-0 tie.
We drew 0-0, which absolutely is both coaches' fault. I will take full responsibilities for that.
you know, if you have a 0-0 draw against a team that we're putting in the C tier, I don't know how we can put the Giants in God tier.
The reason is, I'll tell you this. I fully get it, and this is the one justification I'll give. When we played our first 2 games, we'd won our first 2 games. It wasn't particularly difficult. And then we, at the end of it, me and Harry were like, guys, these guys don't have numbers. Play the game, do your job, but don't be. So we kind of made them feel like it was a friendly game. And they knew that, and it showed. As in, my defensive unit completely, we didn't concede, but they switched off, and so did the offense. And they I watch it back, I think of it now, and it's completely our coaches' fault because we went into the game telling the boys, take it differently as a game, and they just switched off completely.
And I refereed that game, and I thought it was a good game and things. Bombers came closer to scoring than what you did in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, they did.
No, I don't think they should be at the bottom, but they have won a game, so it's.
I honestly think this, right, and you two are going to hate us for this, but I think Bombers and Frickley go in C tier, Alphas go in B tier.
I don't know how you can put Frickley in a C tier when they've only scored 18 points in 6 games.
Well, you want to put them in D?
I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere. Who do we have in D right now?
In D, you've got Blitz, Falcons, Bucks. Is it Swindon Storm?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well be D at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy keeping them in a D then.
Blitz has scored 45 points in 6 games.
I mean, we'll come and adjust this after anyways. Do you know what I mean? We'll adjust it.
Scunthorpe are a solid outfit as well. You know, they've got a very good run scheme, you know, very well coached on it.
Yeah, I think Scunthorpe be put in B tier, but you're going to hate this. I think Giants go into A tier, not God.
You know what? I'll accept it for one reason. The 0-0 against
That's the one thing. That's the one thing, and I told you after that game.
I know. But you know what it was as well? We have only had our starting QB once this season. Well, and that was the last tournament.
And we're there. So how many games have you played?
We've played 9.
And how many games has your starting QB played?
3.
Yeah, so your other guy's the starting QB then, isn't it?
We've had 3 different and then we're going to have a different QB at the next tournament as well.
Yeah, but I've got a different starting QB at the next tournament.
That's a very valid point. Is that 0-0 against?
That's honestly the one thing keeping you down.
Oh, come on. Mate, my corner was an O-line. Batanga, my other corner was an O-line.
I mean, you know what? I mean...
Okay, you know what? It's fine. I'll accept it. Do it.
No, I mean, and people are putting in comments here about the teams. It's like, one of the things that makes the God tier teams so God tier is not necessarily that they're winning with 6 players, is that they have, if a player goes down, they continue to win.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that they're going on, they've got squads of 18 or 19, and it's not one player that makes the difference. I'm sure Gates has quarterback.
Absolutely.
If Gates has quarterback goes down, I'm sure they're still going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when
I knew that 0-0 would come back to bite us by the end of the season.
It's just one. If your whole success hinges on a single player, then that's not a god tier team. That's a good team, obviously, but if you're 5-4 and it's all because your starting running back was injured, then
we're 9-0. We're 9-0.
I know the single player makes a huge difference at 5-man football, but a good team should still win.
To be honest, I'll never say without him the offense has struggled, because they've still been putting up 40 odd points.
Yeah.
But no, that I'll take it. Put us in A. We've got another tournament left. We'll earn it. That's what I'm saying. The boys got to work for it, and they know that. They know they've got to work.
We're back next week as well. 10:00.
Yeah. The lads need to earn it. So we'll go for A. I'll accept it for now.
Yeah, we'll see. When's your next tournament, Enrique?
Our last tournament is this Saturday.
So next week we'll come back and it's Scunthorpe, Lincolnshire, and Prickly fans out there. Put up a good game. Let's keep them in the A tier, and or we'll see. Sheffield players, if you are watching, I'm looking forward to putting you back.
They're all in the comments. There's a few of my boys in the comments already now. I can see it.
There is.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, right? They're all kicking off. I am sorry.
Look,
What's our next division?
Yeah, last one. So, Scotland.
I mean, they haven't played a tournament, and that score is ridiculous.
That is insane.
What is this? I can't even see where
that. The Knights West are Highland Wildcats, EKP, the Hamilton Bucks, and Knights East.
So, because of how it is, I'm going to make the Knights as one team here, right? Because I didn't get two logos, because they don't have two different logos. So, I'm going to make it as one team. Right.
I don't think you can, because one team is 3-0 and the other team is 0-2.
They have one, and I know that one team is the players that have played before, and one team is their complete rookies that they're getting on the field.
Yeah.
And I know there was a pre-season tournament that went about, and East Kilbride battered Edinburgh Napier West. And I know they haven't played an actual one this one so far, but they battered them.
The EKP did.
EKP dominated that game.
And
I know the Highland game that they won was against the Buccaneers as a walkover, if I've looked at it right, if I remember rightly anyways, because Buccaneers didn't know they were going to have enough players to play. So they played it as a game, full rules, referees, everything. And the Buccaneers actually won that, but because they declared it was a walkover before the game, Highland got the win.
Yeah.
So that's where this is a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
This is a huge nightmare.
For me, I'm going to tell you now, for a fact, EKP go God tier.
They're 0-4. I don't think we can put anyone in God tier till you've actually played.
Right,
I don't know what you're saying, Wilkins, but you can't just give it to them. I fully understand it, but we can't just give it.
Highland Wildcats this season, I would put in a B.
Yeah, I don't think we can put EKP anywhere until they've played.
No, and that's fine. I'm happy to not do that, but as soon as they play, you'll see.
Sure, that's fine. But
Hamilton, I would put in at C. For now, even because they've lost, but when they actually they'll move, I promise you that they'll move. Yeah. Edinburgh, because I'm only going to go off one of their teams, I'm putting in the A tier. That's how I'm going to do it, because they're still one team.
Fine.
Yeah. Are they playing themselves? I mean, did they play West versus?
They do play themselves as well, yeah. And
I'm a little. How are they getting? I mean, since it's been basically a year. Or 18 months since the teams happened, who's got the most, returners? I mean, the Cheetahs had 2 returners. How many returners do most teams have?
We've got 6 returners this year.
You had 6 13-year-olds basically that are now 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Sheffield, Enrique won't even know this because you weren't here 2 years ago coaching them, but I think 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 have played before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. A large amount of I think on the defense, I only had maybe one that had played before.
From looking at, because obviously we played Sheffield last year, I only recognised 3 of your guys. If I'm honest.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, we've already established that defense is just easier to play than offense. So
Phil, don't push me.
So was that the last division?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's the last division, close that out, and then I'll open up mine, and we can have a little look and see.
Let's have a look and see what we're like.
Thing. So everyone's probably gone to bed now and pissed off that we're still going.
His mom made him go to bed at 10 o'clock in school holiday.
I know. What a parent that is, by the way. Why are you making a kid go to bed at this time? Like, come on. I'm joking. Please don't kick off.
Don't tell me you're wiped out. Okay.
No, I've got it all here. So I've just done it in the tier system how we have.
Wait, we can't. There we go. It hurts it, but you know what? It gives my lads something to fight for our next tournament. That's it. I just want to say to all of the teams, just as a generic under-16 coach, do not take any of these kind of things personally. Be better than the adult players. The adult players cry, whinge, and moan. All you've got to do is work harder. That is it. That is all we want to see. Honestly. Let's be honest, most of these lower teams are lower because of numbers, not bad play.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I would love to see any of those 9 teams in the top 2 divisions. That would be, if we had a tournament, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually a little tip to the players that are still watching. Make your coaches do bets. I've currently got one of my defense. If we go 0-0-0 conceding, I've got to take them all to Nando's on my bill. So I kind of want it. Yes. Oh, yes. I kind of want it, and I don't.
So Terrell's just asked, why are Tamworth not on the list? So the reason Tamworth aren't on the list is because no one's updated the scores. So that goes for the full division. These are in. So if someone can go and update the scores, we can update the list. But this list's going to get changing each week. We might talk about them a bit more in depth, but we have been on for over 2 hours.
2 hours, Christ!
So
this has been fun.
Yeah. What I am going to say.
I've loved every second. I really have.
Yeah, me too.
So what I'm going to say to everyone is, please go update your League Republic site. I can honestly thank every one of you for coming on and doing the show with us. It's been amazing. We'll do it again next week. If you're free, I don't know if we're allowed to do another 2-hour show, but we'll see.
Maybe with this one, we need to start earlier. A lot of these kids got to get to bed.
We'll try and start it. Terrell, you've got in late, mate. You've got here late. We know you're 3-0, but you haven't updated your scores, so you're not getting put on the list.
Why are you starting a war? Why are you starting a war?
I don't care. Get in next week. Right, we'll get you on the list next week. But for now, you're not in. Right?
And it's hard also to compare. I mean, we really also need to put a caveat in there. It's really hard to compare teams who have played 9 games against teams who played 3 games.
Yeah, it really is.
The stage of the season. It's until until we see the quality of the competition with each team and so forth. And so, I think there's no doubt there's some really good ballin' teams out there, and Louise Lancaster, who's a player to watch in the under-16s. There's too many dimensions. I mean, I think that the quality of teams going, a lot of 16-year-olds are going to make some really great under 19 players next year.
Yeah.
Louise, I'll answer your question. It's called Hussein Simser.
No. He's gone to America. He's no longer counts. He's not
a player to watch in under 16s. If you want to watch, prep high school football, go watch that.
All right, then, my bad. Kerem Simser, 6'2", D tackle. He's younger brother, 13-year-old. So if you want to watch a player, aren't they?
Thank you for listening. All you younger lads, get to bed. For the parents that have been watching, fantastic.
They're probably just eating their tea right now. I mean,
But no,
But
Adam,
honestly-
absolutely credit to you, man. This is a great thing to be seeing. Absolutely
It is.
love it, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honestly, thanks very much for everyone joining in. Hope to see you all next week. Take care, guys.